Welcome to Sayya YouTube channel. Today we're going to explain about Introduction of Art of War Part 2. Those who assist a leader by means of the Tao do not use arms to coerce the world, for these things tend to reverse. Brambles grow where an army has been. Bad years follow a great war. Weapons are inauspicious instruments, not the tools of the enlightened. When there is no choice but to use them, it is best to be calm and free from greed, and not celebrate victory. Those who celebrate victory are bloodthirsty, and the bloodthirsty cannot have their way with the world. In a similar way, the art of war pinpoints anger and greed as fundamental causes of defeat. According to Sun Tzu, it is the unemotional, reserved, calm, detached warrior who wins, not the hothead seeking vengeance, and not the ambitious seeker of fortune. The Tao Te Ching says, "Those who are good at knighthood are not militaristic. Those who are good at battle do not become angry. Those who are good at prevailing over opponents do not get involved." The strategy of operating outside the sphere of emotional influence is part of the general strategy of unfathomability that the art of war emphasizes in characteristic Taoist style. Sun Tzu says, "Those skilled in defense hide in the deepest depths of the earth. Those skilled in attack maneuver in the highest heights of the sky. Therefore, they can preserve themselves and achieve complete victory." This emphasis on the advantage of enigma pervades Taoist thinking, from the political realm to the realms of commerce and craft, where it is said, "A good merchant hides his treasures and appears to have nothing, and a good craftsman leaves no traces." Writings on both the civil and military aspects of political organization are found throughout the Taoist canon. The Book of the Huainan Masters, Huainanzi, Huainan Tzu, one of the great Taoist classics of the early Han Dynasty, which followed the dramatic end of the Warring States period, includes an entire chapter on Taoist military science that takes up the central theme of the practice of the art of war. In martial arts, it is important that strategy be unfathomable, that form be concealed, and that movements be unexpected, so that preparedness against them be impossible. What enables a good general to win without fail is always having unfathomable wisdom and a modus operandi that leaves no tracks. Only the formless cannot be affected. Sages hide in unfathomability, so their feelings cannot be observed. They operate in formlessness, so their lines cannot be crossed. In the art of war, Sun Tzu writes, "Be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Be extremely mysterious, even to the point of soundlessness. Thereby, you can be the director of your opponent's fate." Both Sun Tzu and the Masters of Huainan, a group of Taoist and Confucian sages gathered by a local king, recognize a level of wisdom where conflict does not emerge and victory is not visible to the ordinary eye. But both books are, after all, written in recognition of the difficulty and rarity of this refined attainment. The rigorous conditions of Taoistic military action are paralleled by those of Taoist spiritual practice. Metaphors of peace and war are widely used in manuals of Taoist meditation and exercise. One of the most basic principles of Taoist practice, deriving from the teachings of the I Ching, is the mastery of emptiness and fullness, which has both physical and psychological implications. Given an entire chapter in the art of war, the mastery of emptiness and fullness is fundamental to the physical accomplishment of Taoist fighting arts like absolute boxing, and to the organizational or socio-political aspect of the arts of both civil and military government. Explaining the understanding of emptiness and fullness as the way to certain victory, the Masters of Huainan say, "This is a matter of emptiness and fullness. When there are rifts between superiors and subordinates, when generals and officers are disaffected with each other, and dissatisfaction has built up in the minds of the troops, this is called emptiness. When the civilian leadership is intelligent and the military leadership is good, when superiors and subordinates are of like mind, and will and energy operate together, this is called fullness. The skilled can fill their people with energy to confront the emptiness of others, while the incompetent drain their people of energy in face of the fullness of others. When welfare and justice embrace the whole people, when public works are sufficient to meet national emergencies, when the policy of selection for office is satisfactory to the intelligent, when planning is sufficient to know strengths and weaknesses, that is the basis of certain victory. The political basis of military strength, or the social basis of the strength of any organization, is a teaching that is also rooted in the I Ching. In the art of war, this is given premier importance, as the first item in the first chapter on strategy involves examining the way of an adversary group, the moral fiber, the coherence of the social order, the popularity of the government, or the common morale. Under the right conditions, according to Sun Tzu, a small group could prevail over a large group. And among the conditions that could make this possible were justice, order, cohesion, and morale. This is another pivot of Chinese thought that is also highlighted by the masters of Huainan in the context of military strategy. Strength is not just a matter of extensive territory and a large population. Victory is not just a matter of efficient armaments. Security is not just a matter of high walls and deep moats. Authority is not just a matter of strict orders and frequent punishments. Those who establish a viable organization will survive even if they are small, while those who establish a moribund organization will perish even if they are large. This theme is also emphasized by another of the great military strategists of old China, Zhuge Liang of the 3rd century CE, who followed the teachings of Sun Tzu to become legendary for his genius. The Tao of military operations lies in harmonizing people. When people are in harmony, they will fight naturally, without being exhorted to do so. If the officers and soldiers are suspicious of each other, warriors will not join up. If loyal advice is not heard, small minds will talk and criticize in secret. When hypocrisy sprouts, even if you have the wisdom of ancient warrior kings, you could not defeat a peasant, let alone a crowd of them. This is why tradition says, a military operation is like a fire. If it is not stopped, it will burn itself out.